Hello everyone, my name is Paula and I am the founder of Career Purpose, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to define your career purpose, the ideal career for you. As a former Senior Vice President of Human Resources for an advertising company, coupled with my experience as a career coach and management consultant, I kept seeing a lot of wasted talent in the workplace, people not fulfilling their potential. And I believe it's because we have an identity problem. Your identity is who you are, what you value, and knowing how to professionally manage your identity enables you to choose the right career for you. So I would like to talk about the 5 phases we go through in our career. So the searching phase. So we're either in high school and we're trying to determine the right career for us. We're trying to determine the university degree or college degree or trade that we want to pursue in order to attain our career. Or we are searching to obtain a position in the workplace. Then we get into the existing phase and we're just happy to have a job. And we're getting our fulfillment outside of our work. Then we get into the struggling phase. We're either having a problem with our job or our manager or colleagues. And then we enter the achieving phase. We are doing really well. The job is good, we're making money, things are going fine, but somehow we begin to question ourselves. Is this what this is all about? I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel I'm fulfilling my purpose. And there's got to be something more than this. So then we get into the fulfilling phase. And this is when we enter, this is where I feel valued and fulfilled for the contribution I make. I believe in it, and then I'm excited about going to work. So I want to help you to ensure that you know who you are, so you can choose the right careers for you, so that you do feel valued and fulfilled for the contribution you make. Our career is a major, major investment in our life. We spend a lot of time and money for our university or college degrees. We spend about 8 to 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week for approximately 35 years of our life in our profession. Our career impacts not only our financial status, it also impacts your happiness, your self-worth, your growth, your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And it also affects your lifestyle as well as your family. So it is a major investment, and you want to make the right choices. I often ask people, what is your definition of career success? And most of them really don't have it defined. I find that most of us want the same thing. We want to be in a career making a living doing what we love to do. Not like, we want to love it. It's the difference between a job and something you love to do. You want to share your passions, which you value your talents, and you want to feel respected, valued, and fulfilled for the contribution you make. You also want the financial freedom to live the lifestyle you choose. In essence, we want to be happy, we want to have fun, we want to be excited about going to work every day because you spend a lot of time in your career. So I'd like to talk about the 8 steps required in order to help you to identify that fulfilling career. So the first one is your working style. And I go into more detail about this in my other series called How to Maintain Professional Partnerships at Work. Because your working style has 4 components. Your interpersonal style, you're either an introvert or an extrovert. You do both, but you tend to have a preference. An introvert prefers to work on their own or one-on-one with people, and an extrovert prefers to work more with people and on their own for shorter periods of time. And how you deal with conflict, you're either a peacekeeper or confronter. You do both, but you tend to have a preference. A peacekeeper, when they are dealing with conflict, they value harmony. The objective is not as important. It's maintaining that harmonious relationship with that individual. And a confronter tends to, when they deal with conflict, tend to look at what's the objective. They tend to focus on the facts and not looking as much as trying to maintain that harmony within that individual. It's what needs to be done. They're both good in balance, but I'm going to talk about that later in my other series, which is so important. But we're going to be looking at your thinking style and your time management style. Your thinking style, because we tend to have different preferences. Your thinking style is you're either a realist thinker or a visionary. You do both, but you tend to have a preference. And then there are various scales that you go on. You can be a high realist or a high visionary. But a realist value practical, common sense thinker. They prefer to focus in reality what is and what needs to be done. And the visionary prefer their theoretical, conceptual, unconventional future big picture thinkers. They prefer to focus on what is possible, what is, rather than what already exists. They're both good because you need them both in your organization, but it's to be aware of your working style. Then in time management, you do both, and both are good. It's when you go into extreme modes where it becomes a problem. The organized, they prefer to manage their time in an organized manner. They establish objectives, set priorities, and they want to meet that deadline and they want to get things done. They value their and others' time. So you're going to find that they tend to be on time and they're always sort of thinking about what's the best use of my time right now. So they like to close boxes. Whereas the flexible, they manage their time in a flexible manner, adapting as they go. They tend to seek perfection in things and don't want to close the box, until they've looked at what are the possibilities out there. But they prefer to open boxes. In extreme mode, they tend to be like an octopus scrambling to close all their boxes. But these profiles tend to be more fun because they're in the moment, they're enjoying it. They lighten up the organized who are more like, if they're extreme, they're so buttoned down, they want to close the box. They're not really enjoying the process. So you need them both, and how do you balance that? But when you determine those thinking style and your organization style, you basically come up to 4 components. You're either a flexible realist, so I call that a tactician, and these profiles prefer to not get involved with all the time management and project implementation details. They want to deal with what's the task and what needs to be done. That's where they really flourish. The organized realist they're great project administrators. They're very focused on, all right, we've defined what the project is. Now, how are we going to implement that? So they will set up procedures and they'll want to close that box. They're really great administrators. That's where their talent is. And then you have the organized visionary who will think out of the box because they love ideas and concepts. But what they do is they want to enter reality mode and organize it, set up priorities. We want to close the box and get it done. Then you have the flexible visionary who's the innovator. And what they do, they're more like strategic advisors. Think of the Steve Jobs. They're going to challenge us to think out of the box, to consider new possibilities, ideas, or services for our company. They challenge us to think out of that box. That's where they normally go, so their talent is there. These 2 profiles tend to enjoy working like either in a marketing or business development because they do think out of the box. But these are your strong innovators. These are the ones that are going to take you there. And you need them because you need to compete with your competitors. So a lot of times companies don't know what to do with these people, but if they understand the value they bring, that is really important. And that they're all valuable. One is not more important than the other. They're all very, very vital in order for an organization to run. So when you understand your profile, you understand how to choose sort of the right types of positions. And you may not get into visionary type positions when you first start out, but at least you're aware of it. And then you can also help your company be better and your partners that are around you if they're not thinking in that direction, because it's important. The other component we need to look at are the industries or companies you would prefer to work with. This is very, very important because if you value the product and services of the company, you're passionate about it, you're going to love it more. I've listed them on my website. There are many more than this, but I'm just giving you an idea. When I ask people, like, what is your passion, what's your talent, they don't know. When I get them to look at what are the industries that you really value, then we tend to be able to say, all right, now we know the direction where you prefer to be. So you may enjoy maybe the automobile industry, the beauty, the clothing industry, or computer, construction, consulting, or education or teaching, or perhaps entertainment, fitness, financial, food, government, healthcare, interior design, movies, or the pet industry. So what you should do is check it on my website and then just quickly define them and then put them in order of priority. These are the areas that I really love. And I want you to think about when you're doing that, you tend to do that on your own. What are the books you read? What are the magazines, or what are you talking about? You tend to do it automatically. And if you value that industry and the company, it makes a big difference. Then we're going to look at what are the activities you prefer to be engaged in. Do you prefer working with people, such as babies, children, teenagers, adults, or elderly? Some people like to work with information, data, facts, numbers, words, ideas, or concepts. Some people prefer to work with their physical component, their body or their hands. Or they enjoy the artistic, or working with objects, or spiritual, or with animals. When you start defining these things, there becomes like a clear path. You're saying, oh, this sort of helps me define what I value. And then we look at what are your talents when you're engaged in those activities. Are you advising people? Are you creating something, coaching, designing, directing? Are you fixing? Are you helping someone? And you could be inspiring, making, management, improving something, performing, selling, or teaching. And like I say, you should have a passion for something. And some people say, well, I love numbers, so I'm in the financial industry. Well, yes, it's a skill you have, you like it, but do you want to do it all day for the rest of your life? So you have to be aware of what you're excited about, what you love to do. And you also have to have the passion and the talent to do it. So we basically come out with those 8 components. We've defined what is it that you want in your career. You want to be in a career where you feel that fulfillment, that you're excited about going to work every day. So we're just going to use me as an example to go through the other components. The working style. I'm a strategist. I'm a visionary, love to think out of the box, and I'm organized. I want to enter reality mode and administer the details required for project delivery. So when I looked at all the industries, it was either the career management, it was in interior design, or the movie industry. Those were my top ones. But what came out as the strongest was career management. So I prefer to work with people, with adults or teens. And my talents, what I love to do is I love to inspire, coach, and problem solve. That's what I do. The job title is a career coach. So I've identified it. And then what I find people need to do is to research these positions once they've defined them. They need to Google, to go on to get the definition of what the positions are, what's the market, what are the salaries, what are the education requirements, but also to speak to individuals in the field. I've often had people choose careers or a degree and they go, one took kinesiology and they came out and I was working with them and I'm going, okay, we're going to be looking at that field. Well, I really don't like touching people. I really don't want to do that. So they chose the wrong degree. They should have been talking to people in the field. Like people say to me, I want to work in human resources because I find that I'm really good with people. So I said, okay, once I ask them who they are, what their passions, their talents, then I say there are many components of human resources. There's the legalities of it, there's employee relations, union negotiations, there's so many. But in your particular instance, because you love to inspire and coach, I would suggest you look at the training area. So speaking to people in the field is so important because you'll really get an understanding, you'll clarify what the position entails so that you can make informed decisions. And then I ask people, once you've defined it and researched it, why do you love it? You got to be able to say, I love it because, and in my case, I love it. I love to inspire people. Nothing gives me more pleasure than to see someone share their talent. That's what gets me excited about my job, and it's what I love to do. Your identity, as I mentioned earlier, is your foundation. It's like building a house. How can you build a strong house without a proper foundation? And how can you build a fulfilling career without really knowing who you are? Your identity is the character role you prefer to play. It comes naturally to you. It's your purpose in life. It's what fuels you to keep going. For without purpose, you lack meaning and feel unfulfilled in your career. When you're in alignment with who you are, you know it. You know, we should be doing career checks. Do I love what I do? Am I excited about this? Am I happy? You want to be happy in your job. Professionally managing your identity helps you choose the right career for you. It's the difference between feeling like you belong or being on an endless quest, searching for that sense of validation. To be happy, respected, valued, and fulfilled for the contribution you make. Invest the time. We spend more time planning how we're going to buy a house, car, vacation, or even our wardrobe to make sure we make the right choices than we spend time planning how to manage our career. And this is a major problem in our life. You need to invest the time to ensure you make the right choices because it's so important, because your career has a major impact on your life. It's like I say, if you're going to go on a trip and you don't have a destination, where you end up, anywhere will do, right? But when you know who you are, the value you bring to the table, what you value, then it's like planning a trip to New York. This is where I'm going, and this is what I need to do to get there. We all possess unique identities, different talents, passions, working style. A lot of people say to me, well, don't we all think the same? No, we don't. It's why we need each other to fill in what we're missing. And can you imagine how boring it would be if we were all the same? Be self-aware. Know who you are, what you value. Avoid making common career mistakes that prevent you from having a fulfilling career. I have had people come to me, I'm going to give you an example, that she was in a job and she was in human resources and she was in the pay and benefits area. And after speaking with her, I found out that she loved investment. She did it on her own time. So I said, you know, you're in the wrong department. You're in the right industry. You should visit the manager in your company and tell them about your interest. And I suggested that perhaps you can tell them to show how interested you are, you'd be willing to do work for them off hours. And it ended up that she did that, and they eventually hired her. And she loved the job and then opened up her own business. I have seen it so many times. People were either in the wrong industry or the wrong job. Myself, as I was a senior vice president in human resources, it was a great company, but I didn't feel valued and fulfilled. By knowing who I am and defining it, it enabled me to be in a job that I love, and that's why I'm here today. You have to believe in yourself. There'll always be people that are better or smarter than you, but you possess a unique identity and unique talent, a unique gift. So be aware of that, and you're just going to deliver it in another way. It begins with knowing who you are. So you really need to understand your identity. Is career success luck or skill? It's both. I believe it's preparation meeting the opportunity. You need to believe you deserve it, visualize it, do the work, and take action. And ask yourself, what is holding you back? You are what you believe. So you need to believe that you're really good in this and that I do have value, and I want to share that with other people. So we've gone through the 8 steps. We've defined your definition of career success, the importance of understanding your working style. We've looked at the importance of identifying your ideal industry's company, your ideal activities, your talents, what you should be doing to research it, and to define why you love it. I believe our career purpose is to be of service to one another, to help one another share our passions so we may all benefit from each other's gifts. By helping others, we help ourselves. I believe it's our job description in our personal as well as professional lives. I hope this was helpful. This was done quickly, but it's just for you to think about the steps you need to think about in order to define your ideal career. And then you can make, like I said, informed decisions. But in my next series, I talk about learn how to professionally manage your career, how to perform a professional job search, resume, interview, how to market yourself, know your value, and how to compete and stand out from your competitors. I've done a lot of interviewing, so I really understand how this works, and there are techniques which will make you stand out. And you just need to learn those skills, as well as how to professionally manage your partnerships at work to ensure your success. Those are the next phases. So I hope this was helpful, and I wish you all the best. I hope you fulfill your career purpose and choose the ideal career so you feel fulfilled in your life. Thank you.